Every woman has the potential to lead. A lot of us may not agree to this, but I believe that we have come into a season where women are changing their narratives. Leadership can be in different forms, diverse forms. We are advocating and helping young women to take leadership positions in schools, in communities, in the corporate organizations, and most especially in politics. Today, we want to see how we can reflect on this agenda of encouraging more women to lead. Are we inspiring them enough? And do we think that it is enough reason for them to accept the responsibility of being a leader, despite all the issues and challenges it comes with? It's a free conversation, a flowing conversation. You can also join us in this conversation, making sure that you advocate, you support, and you help empower the young girl next to you to believe in themselves. While doing that, we can increase the number of young women that take up leadership positions. We do not just have to say that a woman's place is in the kitchen. We can lead in the kitchen, we can lead in the office, and we can lead a country. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned. I am Martha Inspires. Hello everyone. Today is a great day. We met over 250 women here to inspire them and to empower them. The focus was to make sure that the widows that we have in our society, the single mothers, the women who are bore twins and probably do not have enough on them, the pregnant women that may not be able to go for antenatal, among other vulnerable women. The target was 250, but we reached 271 women. I believe that whatever target that we set and whatever reach that we have been able to achieve has helped a lot of women to become better. It was a day for us to talk as women. They shared their perspective on women economic empowerment, teenage pregnancy, taking care of their children and how they can do better. We danced. We modeled. We had fun. And I believe that seeing these women chill and enjoy themselves at this point, it's something really amazing. So the Martha Inspires Foundation, with support from a few of our partners, we had some donations from the Universal Merchant Bank, UMB, and some individual philanthropists who helped us to make this day a success. We gave them bags of rice, bottles of oil, tins of mackerel, some tins of tomato paste. Some got soap, some got Dettol, some got cloth, some got even macaroni, and a whole lot of things. Clothes, shoes, handbags. We were able to distribute to these women, and we believe that they have been able to support us greatly. Thank you to Glow Events for glowing the whole setup for us as well, and to Aki's Kitchen for giving us an amazing time of lunch to refresh and to entertain these women. We really appreciate everything. We are glad that we touched the lives of these women. Welcome back from the break. We just want to have a conversation. I have here with me Mustafa Latifa. She is the staff here at the Martha Inspires Foundation. And I have here with me Priscilla Kadi Vara. She's the first female SLC president for their school name I can't mention. But when I say UDS World Campus, you understand. SD what? Say it and let them hear.
SD Dombo. SDD Dombo. Simon Diedon. Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies.
Okay, so you see what she just said. That was the school we used to call UDS, World Campus. Now they have made it SDD something. Anyways, but she's the first female SRC president. After you, has there been any other woman be the president for that campus?
Not yet.
Okay.
But for other campuses,
yes. Zainab was first at Nyankpala. I think you were second in Wa. Yeah. And then what's the name of the girl recently? Rukaya Tamale campus. Yeah.
And then we also have SWAD.
Okay.
SWAD too is there.
For which campus?
That's for, I think, the city campus also.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And they are all doing amazing.
Yeah, I like that. You know, I think, was it this year or last year, there was this trend last year of major campuses having women as their SRC presidents.
Yeah.
It's like some spirits, we just came, some anointing came upon all the women, and the Lord said that, go, my daughters, I released the spirit of, but it was interesting. As a woman, I felt so proud about that. Let me start with you, women in leadership. Do you think we are enough being there?
Enough. I think there's still more room for improvement, but looking at where we've come from and where we are now, there has been a lot of significant change.
Okay.
And I think that sometimes it starts with just one woman, and then one woman is able to inspire hope that, look, if it can be done, then me too, I can do it. So I believe that the journey has not been easy, but we've had a lot of young women come up, and we are so proud to hear the success stories of the recent student leaders who are taking up spaces. And not only that, Ghana currently, we have the first female vice president.
Hey, please, running mate, please.
I believe in her. That is why I know she will be the next vice president. So I think that as women, we should all come out and rally behind her. Once that door is open, for some of us who want to go into politics, we know that it is possible for us to even aspire for presidency when the time is right for us. So yeah, for me, I believe in her, and I know she can do it. So.
Well, that's another topic. But looking at women in leadership in general, do you think we are doing enough in that regard?
Yeah. Yes, we are doing more than enough, I should say. Because, like you said, every woman is a leader. Once you are born, and then they ask, during those days, they'll ask, the moment you come out as a woman, even though men are known as the heads of the family, but women are known as the neck. And the neck carries the head. At the end of the day, the man goes out to do all the heavy lifting. He has gone to work, he has attended to this, attended to that. Even though nowadays we have women also going out, but those days when he comes back to lie down with his wife, whatever happened within the day, he shares with his wife. And at the end of the day, what she has is what she says. That's why sometimes you hear people say that.
Please speak English. People may not understand what you are saying. Yeah.
People who say that
you can say it in English as well. I just want our viewers to understand.
Some will say that what their wives are saying is what they follow. Maybe he has noticed that my wife is somebody God has blessed with wisdom, even though she's not the head. But God has blessed her with wisdom. And in another aspect, you can see that when men go to work, women are left to take care of the home. Whatever happens behind, it's not that there are phones that you can call your husband and say that, honey, this has happened, that has happened, and he'll give you what he thinks. But those days, you are supposed to hold the fort till he comes back. So what do you do? So everything a woman does, from childhood, you are a firstborn, you know what it's like. You automatically take the leadership role, whether your dad or your mom is around or not. In an aspect, you take the leadership role. So for me, I feel that once you are born a woman, you are ready to go, unless you tell yourself that I just want to sit back and probably support.
For me, I think that women are even leaders, because like everything that all of you have said, once you are born, there are lots of things that you do on your own. You are expected to take care of the home. We see men or husbands some husbands who just most times just give money to their home, or just give some maize to their home, and we see our mothers having to struggle to look for soup, to look for something to add to the maize. Recently, I think some of you were there when a woman came to the office and she was in need. She has 3 or 4 children. And before, I think one of the staff had met her before and said that the husband has given her how many bowls of maize and given her 3 Ghana cedis to go and grind the maize for tea and buy ingredients to prepare soup. Like 3 Ghana cedis that can't even buy a bowl of kenke in Ghana now. It can't even buy that. But these women are used to it. They are able to lead themselves, even in their house, even in their home, to be able to multiply. That's what I'm looking, the word I was looking for, to multiply whatever has been given unto them. Let me come to you, Priscilla, on this. Challenges. You have led a whole university. And when I saw those times, when I saw your flyers out there and I saw you, and I was just like, it won't be easy. I haven't led a university, but starting a company at a very young age and being able to come out as a young leader, I know what it feels like. First of all, briefly, what made you want to contest, especially when there was no role model to look after, because there was no woman that had gone into in that position, but you wanted to go there. And what were the challenges that you faced as a woman?
So when I went to the university, one good thing about me was that I took up volunteering initiatives, and I worked with some of the youth groups and then some international organizations which are into amplifying the voices of young women. And so through these volunteering experiences, I said to myself, look, I am going out there as a volunteer to tell girls they can do it.
Yeah.
And I am in my own university. We've never had a female SRC president. And what am I doing about it? So that was where the motivation came. So the experiences and all that I had gained from these volunteerism groups made me feel like, look, what is it at all that a man can do that is so unique and special that a woman cannot do? And if I read the Constitution actually, and I was like, look, they said SRC president, they didn't say men only. So it's something that if you put yourself out there, you can actually do it. But it's a tedious journey, because campaigning in the North was not easy. Especially considering how our people feel about women in leadership. They think that women should be at the background, women should not speak up. So the representation is not that equal over there. But when I came out, I was able to lay down my vision very clearly, which I believe the students bought into, and they believed in me, and then they decided to give me that nod to serve them. And you know, once you are elected as a leader, it comes with so many expectations. People who have given you the mandate want to see you deliver. And for others they want you to fail, so that they will say, aha, we said it. We said that the office is not meant for women, it's meant for men. So there were those who wanted you to do well, and there were also those who wanted you to fail. And so I had to work extra hard. I've never worked extra hard like I did when I was SRC president.
Really?
Yes. And I really had to put up my best to let them know that, look, it is possible for a woman to lead. And up to today, the university's community still acknowledge my efforts. They celebrate me for all that I've been able to achieve and all that. And it's because I stood up and said, look, I can also do it. However, there were so many challenges I encountered, one of which I think most women face, especially within the workplace and within leadership spaces. And I would say I don't know, it was sexual harassment. There was this top management guy who was constantly harassing me. He would harass me when we go for meetings and all that. And I felt so uncomfortable about it. And because of his role and my position,
you had no choice than to keep working together.
Exactly, keep working together. And he wanted to use it as a yardstick to harass me. So there was this time he invited me over to discuss issues about students. And when I got to his office, he started trying to touch my breast and my waist and all that. I'm like, please. So in my struggle to free myself, he tore even one of my beads because he held my waist.
Wow, yes. That's how serious it is.
Yes. And so I left the place and I went and reported the issue. But he was like a lion within the university community and everybody feared him. And so eventually nothing happened to him because nobody wanted to cross that line with him. But I feel that along the line, I had to devise a defense mechanism because I had to protect myself. So anytime he would call, I don't honor his invitations. I would either let my assistant or any other person to go and then meet up with him. In fact, I did that to the extent that I avoided him completely
as much as you can,
till I ended my tenure in office. And at a point, it became even like it had developed to hatred because he wanted you and you are bluffing on him.
You know, there are some men who say that no woman has ever rejected them.
Exactly.
So when you are the one who is rejecting them, it's like there was this lioness tiger anger that comes on you. Look, how did you handle it?
It wasn't easy. This man, it got to a point he didn't even want to see me eyeball to eyeball.
Were your friends aware?
Oh, my executives, some of them were aware because, you know, these are sensitive issues, and you should be able to manage them very well. But I spoke to the top guys, and like I said, he was a lion and is currently a lion in that community. And look, I fear for most of the young girls there because as at the time I was in the university community, and because of the transition from UDS to SD Dombo, the university hadn't come out with their status, like the university status that governs the structure of the university. And the sexual harassment policy too had not been carved.
Yes.
So it was like we're living in a free town where everybody could do whatever they could do and get away with it. But I feel that maybe now they probably would have taken certain steps and all that. And one funny thing too about the university, when you go through some of these things, they expect you to go through the formal structures of the university even before you go out. So they don't expect me to go and report it to the police when I haven't reported it at the university level. And when you report it at the university level, what happens? Nothing. They sit on the issues. So yeah, the challenges were there, but I think that was my biggest challenge. The rest of it, I was able to navigate them, and I think that if I could do it, any other young woman can do it.
Latifa, well, it's been sexual harassment, and I'm just thinking, well, I have had my own share of that. I think I've shared that with the team. I went somewhere to ask for sponsorship, and it was crazy. I don't know if I've said this on air before about the fact that even once you enter the office to look for sponsorship, they expect you to be with a man. They don't see that you are bold enough to walk into, okay, now it's better for me because now I look quite, I was very small. I was very smallish. So you see a very small girl coming and she's telling that she has an event, she's bringing together 1,000 people. You'll be like, oh my goodness, you are lying. And to cut the long story short, this man was making flirty eye contacts with me. I knew what he wanted. I was trying to avoid it. So I stood up. When I turned to go, he hit my buttocks. Wow. And I'm just like, why? So some of the PR or marketing officers that you put in these companies, most of them sometimes would want to take advantage of you. And that is because I'm a woman who is in a position whereby I want to lead a change in my community. But I ask myself, if a man had walked into the office, if he tried to, he will blow you. But with me, no matter how strong I am, if I joke, he will beat me there.
Yeah.
And if he tell lies or try to maneuver, because I had come into his office to look for something. So I think that sexual harassment is really something that I feel that so much emphasis hasn't been put on. And just like he said, most times you say these things, you go to report, the systems are not right, and it's like whatever you are going through is not prioritized, and it can really be disheartening. What are some of the issues you've seen that women are going through as you've as a leader, as a woman, that you think that these things must stop?
For starters, I think the sexual harassment thing is something that is really going on. And should I say bullying? Sexual harassment and bullying.
Yeah.
Because if I remember my experience too, I had just gotten into the field of insurance, and as at that time, you had to sell to some point before you could get the honors to be invited to the awards show. It was an international insurance company, so it was a big deal that people from outside will come, and it is done in golden tulip. So like, this is a big thing for people there. I just got there. In my 6 months, I made it. Now the one responsible for organizing this call, and he's been playing with me. Oh, I like the way you look, I like the way your breast is, like those kind ways. You try to avoid it, but what do? You are still in the same workspace with the person. He just called me that I should look at my name is part of those who are supposed to go there. He even showed me the card of my name written. It was not everybody, even staff, that was allowed to go. That my name is there, but he can remove my name if I don't allow him just to touch my breast too. I told him that. I told him that he should just delete my name, because there's no way I'll let him touch my breast. And I told him I'm going to tell Mr. Kumsin, that was our original manager.
Don't mention names, okay, go ahead.
I was going to report to him what he has called me to tell me. I didn't record, but I told him I've recorded. So it's either he lets me go or I report him. I didn't say anything, no. The next weekend was the thing. I was there and they brought my invitation.
And so even before he's showing you, it shows that you were already supposed to go. He was going to take advantage of you.
So if you were timid, you feel like, wow, I need to go. I've done well, but I need to go. So he bullied me and he wanted to harass me sexually, just because he thought he was superior.
And it's crazy. Like, what is it that some men cannot allow women to explore? And sometimes we find it very challenging that it pushes most of these girls away. I hear people that some young girls even call role models, sit on TV or radio, and they pass things like, well, if they are sleeping with their man, is their body. There's nothing that they are losing. They are not stealing. So it's fine. They don't have an issue with that if their man is giving them something. Because some other girls are there sleeping with useless boys and they are not making money. So she is saying that for her to sleep with her boyfriend and not gain anything, she would prefer to sleep with a man who is rich and can give her something. And when they do this, girls are comfortable. And this is my fear. How many women are you going to have in these leadership positions that can boldly say that I didn't sleep my way to the top?
Exactly. I like that. Because when the top guy from my place was harassing me, I was like, look, with all due respect, if I was sleeping my way to this position, you would have come to meet leftovers. Yes, I told him point blank, because you don't just think that any woman who is striving to become is sleeping her way through. No, it is not done. So yes, it's not every woman who has to sleep with a man too. Yes, we know there are some of them who feel that it is the easiest way
and
out.
There are some too who actually started very well. They started like doing it the right way. but they get to a point. You know, there's something about, I told someone that may God never get me to that point where, you know, no matter how faithful you are to God, let's assume someone walks in one day and say that, okay, I like your show, I want to give you $1 million for your show, but I want you to sleep with me for that show. No matter how powerful you are in discipline, especially when it comes at a point where you are looking for sponsors, you are struggling, you have bills to pay, it takes God to push you, like to
not to accept,
not to accept it.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, we can always sit and say that, oh, we won't accept. Of course, at this point I will say I will not accept. But what I'm trying to say is that let's look at so many times that people have been through situations where there's this popular story that my pastor keeps giving us of a girl who school fees was paid by a man. The man actually told her that it is just pure support. The man supported her until her final year in the university. And the man said that we have this term, we say, I cannot sew on a rock like you are sewing. Like, and for 4 years, the man have given her money, paid her fees, given her allowances without even requesting to have sex with her. And I think the man was in a conversation with other people and they were like, oh, you are useless. How can you take care of a girl and you will not? Exactly. No, it wasn't even like a relationship, just a help.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, even if you won't date or marry her, at least try to sleep with her. And the girl had not eaten for days, I think almost a week. She hadn't had any proper food. Her exams was almost closed. She had her rent and things to pay. The destiny helper she was even probably had gone to church to even share testimony on. And the man was a taxi driver also, came with a taxi and did what? And asked to sleep with the girl. And when they went in court, oh, people are having sex in a taxi. I'm told the girl was crying. She did it because if she doesn't do it, she can't get food to eat. Her last semester fees will not be paid.
You know, I believe that if you are truly a child of God and you hold or you have the fear of God in you, there are certain things you will never compromise on. Honestly, you would never compromise on, especially if you know who you are and what you would become because of your relationship with God. There are a lot of things you know.
No, I get that.
Yes.
I'm not trying to talk about the fact that, look, we are humans.
I get you.
And we just pray and hope that we never get to the point where we lose faith.
Yes.
Like this person who is saying this thing about it's better to sleep with a sugar daddy and get money than to be fornicating with my boyfriend. Some women may not mind because they feel that everything be sin. I remember there's this joke they said that, oh, don't waste your sin. If you are sleeping with your boyfriend, a broke guy, you are wasting your sin. But you see, but my point is that as women, I agree with all the things you said, if you know what you want to achieve and everything. But you see, I believe that people can help people without expectations. People make these comments that, oh, if most married men want to stop having side chicks, most of the girls will go hungry. And I tell them that it is not true because you can still help the person without having the person as your side chick. You can still have your wife and your kids and just be a destiny helper to somebody.
You see me, as I sit here, I have come to a point in my life where I believe that anybody who comes into my life and you tell me that you want to help me with no string attached, I'll consider you as a destiny helper.
Yes.
But if you tell me that you want to help me in return of this, I am not interested.
But the trend now, they will not just come and tell you, I want to have sex with you.
I agree.
They will do it to the extent where you are at a peak. You are
desperate for more.
Like you are used to that kind of lifestyle.
Exactly.
And then
no, but it depends on the. If I'm used to that kind of lifestyle, I would just say, okay, I don't. What you are giving me, that's why you need to start saving or whatever. If they are giving you a lot of money, because
we are not even encouraging it. Not even if they are giving, we are not encouraging it in the first place. Because no destiny helper would want to have a piece of you.
Sure.
Unless he is not sent by God.
It's not a destiny helper.
No destiny helper.
That's just a body helper. Something like that.
Yes, no destiny helper. And just like you said, our pastor always says that when you meet a destiny helper and the person is helping you, they don't even know why they are helping you, because God has placed a burden on their heart
to help you.
And if they don't help you, they will never be okay.
Yes.
So for me, I've just come to that point where I feel like, look, if you are helping me, then it shouldn't be in the future where you tell me that
you want something.
You want something. Yeah. Once that thing comes, then it means that that relationship is forever broken. Yeah. And I will never. It's
like sometimes even you helping someone. There are people that sometimes I can say I am broke. I don't have money, and they will call me or something will happen. And I'm like, but my budget is going to be affected. But because I believe that God is using me to help them, I can't explain it.
Exactly.
And sometimes you don't even help with the motive of they even saying thank you to you. For me, I tell people that the time that if you say thank you for once, that's okay. I don't like this of somebody will go the next day, they will come back or they will tell someone to come out. I say you are wasting time. That's energy. Just say a prayer for me. That is the most important thing that I want. Now back to that. We're talking about bullying. We're talking about
sexual
harassment. I want us to look at, do you think the young girls coming up that we want to inspire are ready for the task of being a leader? Because it's not easy. Look, I was just recent, I think somewhere last year, I was saying, I don't know if I've said it here at the office, that I got to realize that most women they call too known are leaders. When you hear this girl, she's too known, she's a leader. Because look, no matter how, look, I keep saying this all the time, no matter how you follow me, you work with me, no matter how, because I am the one God gave the vision to, you will never understand it like that. There are times you feel like, why don't we do A? And I'll say, I want us to do C. And it is true. It's like going to Accra. Somebody can use VIP, someone can use STC, but I can come and say, I want us to go by flight. And you may feel like, oh, flight is expensive, but I can say, let's go by flight. Why? Because maybe going by flight can reduce the stress or tiredness. But you can say, oh, it's the same thing, you rest in the car. No, I can say, oh, let's go by car and not fly, because it can reduce cost, depending on the situations. But I feel that people misunderstand women leaders. Well, some can be extreme, we understand, but I think that if you actually want to achieve something very good, there are days you have to play, you have to joke, and there are days you have to be firm. Because sometimes once we play and we joke, we get comfortable in that season. And when the season switches of seriousness, you feel like, oh, this person is too known, this person is tough. But I don't think, for me, I don't think that sometimes they are being a bit tough. Yes, there are some people, not even just women. Don't you know some male bosses who are crazily annoying? I don't want that thing to be put on gender. I want it to be put on character, temperament, and personality. There are people who have this temperament, that's okay. But I don't want it to be said that a woman who is given the chance to be a leader is too known or is being abused or whatever. Look, I think, I don't know who are those who did the survey, that women are less corrupt than men. Which means that more women being in leadership positions can save Ghana so much money. Like by now, our part that we are buying for 20 to 25 cedis, the government would have reduced it to be 5 cedis. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
My name is Naima. I have a challenge with my aunt since I was in basic 5. If I'm in class learning on the board, it reflects. So I can't see well, I can't read well, so I have a problem with learning. So when I heard about the eye screen in Matter Research Foundation, I decided to come over and see how it will help me, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Welcome back from the break. We are still looking at women in leadership positions and what we can do better, inspire, to reflect, and to celebrate all women around the world, especially in Ghana. And then some of the politicians are bringing. Yes, I'm a woman myself. Yesterday I was having a conversation with some friends at church, and then I was telling them that if not because of politics, now you can't even stand anywhere and say that, oh, we can't wait to have the first female vice president of Ghana. Once you say that, they look at it from the perspective of you being an NDC member.
Yeah.
But why don't we say that we as women, we want to try and see how it will feel like. I'm just imagining being at a program. I've even dreamt about it, and I'm going to introduce, let me say, the president or a vice president of somebody, of Ghana, and I'm like, Madam President, you know, just imagine, like, at the sound of it, Madam President, Madam Vice President.
Exactly.
Oh, Madam Vice President, Madam President.
Exactly.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So yes, let me come to you on this. Do you think the young girls are ready?
Yes, so about that, I think that we would. Let me start, Olumide. I wanted to say something in addition to what you said, but let me start again.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that nowadays, the young girls we are cultivating, if you look, we have lots of Gen Zs around. Gen Zs.
Who brought that word, Kura? I just started hearing it. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, Gen Zs who are not ready to learn because we are in the era of social media. They want to wake up today and tomorrow they are out there and then they are successful and all that. But for young girls to be able to take up the mantle of leadership, they must be ready, they must be prepared. And that is why you and I, who are advocates, who are into mentorship, we must continue our mentorship programs and then our way of encouraging them, because if we don't lead them and guide them, they will go wayward. And when they go wayward, who would be the next set of leaders we will be handing over the batons to? So I think that this generation of young girls, most of them are not hungry enough. They are not so passionate like the way yes, the predecessors are passionate and all that. But I think that with strategic mentorship, we should be able to carry them along and then help them to find their voices and then also cushion them for leadership positions. Yeah.
Latifa, do you think they are ready?
Well, I would say, I think I'll agree with her on that. We are not very ready. We are not very ready. And then the media, we are not helping matters. I'm saying this because we tend to hype individuals who are not supposed to be hyped.
Yeah, true.
Just like she compared to our days. I mean, you are watching TV, like a woman figure, well dressed, is out reading news. You sit and you are imagining yourself doing it.
Yeah.
The person is interviewing, and the way the person is doing it, well dressed, doing it, you know. And programs they used to show were educative. You see and you want to be there. But what do we see now? TV can even be on and a kid is not watching. It's on the phone watching TikTok. People who are poorly dressed, speaking ill, smoking whilst online. I remember I was talking to someone, the person was saying that if we are not careful, both women and men, our parliament is going to be filled with rascals. I'm telling you. Because you see women of late, they say now if you see somebody holding energy drink bottle in the daytime, sipping small, suspect them. That they put drugs in with energy drink and sip.
Then we come back with liver and cancer.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course, people may have those issues that are not related to these drugs, stuff we are talking about, but it's a risk factor.
And they even behave irrationally. They can make, this is like a whole country, parliament, people making decisions for a whole country. If they are not thinking rationally, they can just do anything. And at the end of the day...
But you see, that's our media. Sometimes you ask for airtime to talk about very educative things on radio you don't get. But you know the things you hear? Oh, I heard you are dating this person. How far?
Do you want to talk about it?
Do you want to talk about it? Oh, I'm told you are no longer dating this person. How far? Or you hear things like, oh, you and this person have a beef. And I will sit and talk about Presla or Latifa. They'll invite Presla or Latifa to come and also talk about me. Or you hear funny things about people's marriages.
Or people are even ill-dressed and they're like, oh, today you are looking good. Oh, you are looking sexy on show.
Yeah.
And it's not even late night. Like daytime, kids are watching.
Yeah.
And now we don't have that P13 thing
No,
anymore.
it is there for decoration. The P13 is just there just to add it up. But you see, I feel that young girls watching me this moment, I want you to understand that, you see, we all had that desire to achieve certain things when we were young. We wanted to be someone else. Like you said, you see Gifty Auntie and Co on GTV, you want to be like them. You see, recently, DJ James and I were on a call, and then we're talking about something. Then it was like, compared to what? He will mention somebody's name. I said, please, don't be comparing me. Because these days, you just say somebody's your role. And I was like, hey, if I had invited this person for my youth summit, the time I was inviting the person, like by now I can't sit in this family.
I'm telling you.
And I was like, no, now dear, you can't even say this person is my role model. Or this person is this. Because by the time you know, something about them is going to come out.
Exactly.
And you see, there are certain things one day I heard Gifty Auntie say something that their time there was no social media, so they are safe. Whatever they did, not extremely bad, but whatever they did, I don't think her child
kind of
will
hidden.
come will
Grow
come
up
and
to
hear
see it.
those things. All the rumors we said, oh, Gifty Auntie has done this, the person have done this. By the time their children will grow, those who knew the story would have been dead.
Yes. That's what
So her child will never hear those stories unless maybe once a while that people will, but it will even be like alleged.
It's the story.
Now, if you do anything now and once it gets on TikTok or Facebook
or Twitter.
or Twitter, and they say X, right? X now.
Yeah.
It will be there forever. I think 5 years ago or so, I went through Facebook where I didn't see anything crazy do, and I made sure that was there anything that in the next 5 or 10 years, if it is said about me, I'll be happy about. So one of the things that I want every young woman watching me to understand is that be careful about the life you live. Especially the kind of people you are in relationship with. Because a time will come that if they said that this guy was your boyfriend, you'll be shy. like you even wish that people don't know that you even know that person. Because recently there was someone out there, I don't want to mention any names, and one of the things she said about her press statement was that if she knew the influence she would have carried now 5 years ago, she wouldn't have done the things that she did 5 years ago. God can change your story at any point. And when we say women in leadership, it's not just holding a position, but you are leading yourself. You are the CEO of your life. So even with the utterances, these days I'm careful about the kind of calls I make. Before you go and record me and go and tell someone. Once someone's name comes up, I'm careful about the things I say. Before you record me and go and play it and I'm being embarrassed. So be careful about the calls you make, the friends you keep. Because the friends you keep are people that, you hear things like, this person were childhood friends, and they are bashing the person on social media. And I'm like, so what kind of childhood friends? So I wonder, who were my childhood friends? I have to start checking who, and even now, I'm being very careful that by the time that in the next, when I'm 40, 50, and they are saying, oh, when we're in our 20s, she was my friend, I will be careful because I won't be happy that somebody I have worked with, somebody I have stayed with, will not come and say, oh, Martha was like this. Because
even for you and I, we've known each other for more than
I think since 2010.
Yes.
About 14 years. About 13, 14 years now.
And look at the growth. Look at what we've all been through. If we hadn't done a lot of work on ourselves, would be
that's a key word, work on yourself.
And this is just to let you know that the kind of friends you pick, the kind of people you surround yourself with would matter. Would really project who you really are in the next 5-10 years to come. People say, show me your friend and I'll show you your character. It's not a cliche.
Jennifer will say, dress how you have dressed.
It's not a cliche at all. So if you have a growth mindset, you must surround yourself with people who equally have a growth mindset, who have visions, dreams. They know that, okay, in the next 5 years, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. That is how you grow. But if you surround yourself with people who just want self-gratification, then now, they would coerce you to eat your seed.
Yeah.
Instead of planting your seed, they would influence you to eat your seed. And when the harvest is near, you will have nothing to
harvest.
Yes. And that is what we see nowadays.
Yeah.
Most of these young girls, for me who have stayed in Accra and probably have mingled with so many people, I see that there's so much pressure. It's like everybody wants to be known, be seen, be heard. This one wants to be popular. This one wants to say that, oh, I'm the one in reigning and all that. But to what end?
To what end?
To what end? If you really know your goal in life and you know that this is what I want to achieve, you will not mind if you are not seen and heard at the present moment, because you know that if you work on yourself, if you build capacity and the right time comes and God is about to usher you, even the world will hear about you. Me, I was extremely shy, extremely quiet, and I used to be in my space. But when I went to the university and finally became SRC president, didn't you see it in the news? That is how it is. You just have to sometimes hide and build capacity. And that way, when you step out, you don't step out as someone who doesn't know what they are about. But you step out as
it's a season of training.
Yes.
Before you are exposed, even with Christ, from 12 years to 30 years, nobody ever heard about him in the Bible.
He was preparing.
But within 3 years, he came and did a lot of things. And one day I sat down and I looked at, like he said, everybody wants to be seen. I looked at myself, especially after we finished school. 2013, there was a lot of pressure in the system. Everybody wanted to go to school that particular year. Everybody wanted to do something. And one day, I don't know what happened with you, why. And I was like, okay, looking at that time, if you had gone earlier, you wouldn't have made the history that you made.
Honestly.
You wouldn't have made the history that you made.
Absolutely.
So sometimes the seasons and timing of God, me too, I didn't go to school that year. I went to school later on. But after my degree, and I realized that I took a lot of time to build my capacity. One day, the very first time I Googled myself was last year. I just typed, who is Martha Anabila? And the things I saw about myself, I said, God, if I die today, I've made it. Because videos of inspiration and content and everything, people have written articles about me. And one thing that even shocked me was that I saw an article on 100 influential frafres in Ghana. And I'm like, my name is Anabila, but I hardly go to Bolga. But my name was part of
the list.
Was part of the list. In 2016 or 17, we had 50 most influential women in Tamale or Northern region. My name was there. Then Humanitarian Awards Ghana, 100 influential change. Sometimes I'll just be there.
Your name will.
And I was seeing some recently, just last month, somebody sent me a letter and a picture. Is it youth? YEA Youth something awards.
Okay.
Something awards. I've not shared it. My team knows. If I share it with them, they'll start. I want money for myself, and I feel that those awards, I don't have money to vote for myself, so I won't even try it. And sometimes I feel that I had to prepare to get to where I am now. And I tell people that, look, you can be older than me, you can be higher than me, but there is something you can learn from me.
Exactly.
There was a time that I wasn't doing something, and one day God called me to order. It's like anytime I see somebody I'm older, like who is older than me, I feel like the person knows more than me, or when the person calls me to learn from me, I feel like, oh, hey, you are an old person, I cannot learn from. And one day God made me to understand that the wisdom He's giving me is not only for my younger siblings, but once somebody is able and willing and humble enough to come to me to learn, I should make it available to mentor them or to teach them. And that is what sometimes, when you don't brand yourself as a young person, we see people, look at DJ Switch. I admire that girl so much. When she's on TikTok live and I'm live, I listen to her. Do you hear the English she's now speaking? We can't speak some. Because of the exposure. Yes, look at Nakiyat of 2019.
She has really grown.
Nakiyat travels. They invite her to what economic forum. She is just
ambassadors.
going.
Yes.
But you see, if Nakiyat comes here today to organize a program, we would think she's inviting children.
No.
How many of us will be willing to go and sit and hear Nakiyat talk about her experience of travel? Be like, oh, this small girl. No, but there is something we can learn from her.
Yes.
So as a young person watching, or even as a woman, I think you can learn from diverse people. You can learn from a lot of people. My mentor, Madame Georgina Sarafie, we have a mentees platform where they can just give you a topic and ask you to prepare a presentation of 5 minutes. I've never done that. With the way I talk, 5 minutes, I can't do it. But I had to learn it there. And it has helped me. Right now, if I have to do a presentation of 5 minutes, I believe that I can do something about that.
Yeah.
So there is always an opportunity to learn as a woman. Latifa, time is going. Your final words. Give us your final words. Let's go.
Okay. So with me, what I would like to tell you, young person out there, especially women, is that never feel depressed, especially if you are from the north. We are being brought up in a way where we have a inferiority complex. We always feel like, for us, there's nothing we can do. Our place is in the kitchen. You get up, go to school, marry. After marrying, if your husband finds a job for you, fine. If he doesn't, small store,
you open
sit
store.
there,
Like that. You buy you a motorbike.
Exactly. You be riding around town. There's outre you are going. No, there's more. Just like they were saying, every human being God brought on earth has a purpose.
Yeah.
So you need to sit and reflect. Look into your soul. What is my purpose?
Yeah.
Maybe you can, like she said, you have to go through some certain trainings, and it's going to be tough. Everything in life is tough. There's nothing in life that there is nobody. All these people we are mentioning, these great people we are mentioning, they all have stories. But just one day we're just there and they are there. Now they are household names.
Yeah.
So you also need to pass through the treadmill. So all I'll tell you is that it's not going to be an easy journey, but find your purpose and make sure you stick with it. And then one day you have what you deserve.
Find your purpose and stick with it. Presla.
I like what Latifa said, you know, as a young girl, you should never let your background limit you. You should always know that, look, we all come from struggles and we all have our stories, but you should never let your background define who you are and what you can become. I would also say that find mentors. For some of us, we have been privileged to have mentors. You know, my mentor is Madam Obobia Opokudako. And she has been one amazing woman to us, her mentees. And through her, we've learned a lot that probably if I hadn't gotten closer to her, maybe I wouldn't have learned all these lessons. And so find a mentor who resonates with you, who you think can mentor you in a strategic way that would help amplify the potential, the talents and abilities that you have. And also, I think that you should believe in yourself. Some of us are here because we believed in ourselves. Don't let people tell you you cannot do it. There is absolutely nothing that is impossible for you as a young girl to do that you cannot do. And so when you are given a mantle or a position, or you want to take up a leadership position, remember this conversation. Look up to the people you see within your community and tell yourself, if these people have been able to do it, then me too, I can do it. So always believe in yourself and pray. I have never seen a self-made man. Anybody at all you find has been helped by God. So you should make God your number one priority in life. Make sure that you pray to him, let him know your dreams, your goals, whatever you want to do. Put him first, and I believe that all your dreams would come to pass. So that is my final words to you.
Put God first. I think one day I would have to talk about my journey with God and purpose. I think please write it down. A nice topic that I would do. My journey with purpose and God. Sometimes it's very challenging and it's very tough. But when you have that factor in your life. He even directs you with the kind of mentors that you should go to. Because it's not every mentor that is supposed to be aligned with your destiny. Some are not bad, but because they don't understand your vision, they will redirect your purpose and your mandate. So stay strong, cleave to the will, the word of God, and at the end of the day, you understand that God actually loves you. Thank you so much for watching this amazing episode of Martha Inspires. Do have a good night.